This is Colin Dixon with nScreen Media, and I'm speaking with Bhavesh Vergalia, who is the CEO of the newly formed or newly named Singular Decisions. Bhavesh, welcome. So first of all, tell us about the name change, why you made the name change.
Well, thanks a lot, Colin. Thanks for having me again today. Yes, it's been quite a journey for us. I mean, we changed our name from PayWizard into Singular Decisions yesterday. To be honest with you, we've been on this journey for the last 2-3 years. I mean, we launched a product called Singular Subscriber Intelligence back at IBC 2018, really as I guess, an alpha, a beta product just to test the market, see see if we can hit the requirements for the broader market as it says. And we won Product of the Year. We were at NAB last year, and we won AI Product of the Year. So we felt we had something in terms of a solution that this market would certainly need. And as a result of all the customers that we've been testing with, we felt it was about time to change our name. We felt the previous name wasn't giving justice to where we were going as an organization, and we felt, this was the right opportunity to really raise a focus on our subscriber intelligence strategy, and that's where Singular Decisions came from, and we made a decision to carry on.
Right. And so Singular is really aimed at helping customers take data from all of the different places that they have it in the organization, pull it together and make informed decisions on their customer base, right? Talk about that. And I really want you to explain the air gap. I love the concept of the air gap. I think it's really important for people to get that.
No, you're absolutely, you're absolutely right, Colin. I mean, effectively, what Singular is all about in terms of our Singular Subscriber Intelligence platform, it's really all about helping operators find and execute the best growth model for their subscription business. That's fundamentally the core concept behind it. And what we discovered as we've been talking to lots of our existing customers as well as new prospects around the world is they really are struggling between where all my data sits. We call that the subscriber data layer, and that could be in all kinds of different applications. And then they're trying to transform or activate that data to use it in real time in where the consumer or the customer interacts with the service. We call that the subscriber touch layer. And that whole gap in between, we're calling the air gap. It's really the area that's a big void in most organizations where they're either looking at data in silos, they're looking at it and articulating it from a manual perspective, not really able to activate that data in real time. And the key for us there was, could we build Singular Subscriber Intelligence as a solution that really helped join those two groups together and effectively fill the air gap? And the thing is, when we talk to more and more of these operators all over the world, it is clearly one of the big challenges they've got is how do they activate their data quickly enough, and not just look at it in dashboards and reports and think about propensities, but do something meaningful with it in real time that actually helps them, acquire subscribers, reduce churn, or grow ARPUs. And that's what the air gap's all about.
Yeah. And you said that there are 3 things that you think people need to care about to really fill that air gap. So just walk us through what those 3 things are.
Yeah, and I think, again, that comes from our heritage, right? I mean, the great thing about where we come from is we've been in this industry for 20 years. So that means, we've been an outsourcer as well. So we've run thousands of campaigns on behalf of our customers and managed subscribers on behalf of our customers. Gives us a little bit of a unique view in terms of what are the things that matter when you're trying to engage with a subscriber. And to us, when you're bridging that air gap, when you're trying to activate that air gap into engaging with your subscribers, there's 3 things that you really need to consider. First is you really need to know where your subscribers are at any point in time. So really that's, the customer journey. Where are they in your journey? The second thing you really need to consider is what's the context? How did that subscriber get to that point, and where are they going? What's their trajectory? What's their path with the engagement with your service? And then once you have where they are in the journey, how they got there and where they're going, then you really need to think about what can I do to change that behavior? What can I do to either make them, potentially allow them to watch more or consume more, or acquire themselves or sign up or, stop them from leaving. It's only then can you make those changes. And that comes from our experience that we've baked into the platform. And the key to all of that is the central bit. Most people will have a view of where they are in the journey and potentially will try and do some actions, but it's pretty manual at that point. The real heart of it is the context. So how did I get there? Where am I going? And in order to do that, we've created our own subscription scorecard, which is a really important a view on that pure context or that signal or that pattern for that individual subscriber. And that's really built on what we believe is a supply and demand model that happens between me as a consumer and the service I'm subscribing into. And it's really that push and pull between the supply and demand and those triggers that you have and the signals that you have that allow you to make informed decisions in real time about what you should do with each subscriber at any point in time.
So just give us an example of how we would use the subscription scorecard. Can you give us an example?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, the scorecard is built on 6 key metrics, if you want to call it, 6 key elements. On the supply side, as an operator, I've got control over the content that I have, and that content could be obviously sports related, live, it could be entertainment, doesn't really matter, but I've got a portfolio of content. Based upon that, I've got to provide a service, I've got to provide an experience for my consumer to be able to interact with my service. And I've got to be able to communicate that to my audience such that they want to be able to sign up and use that service. So those levers I'm in control of as an operator. Now on the demand side, as a consumer, what we are actually looking at is whether I'm using the service, how much am I using? Those are questions I'm thinking about daily. Am I happy with it? Am I satisfied with it? Am I enjoying the service? And based upon those 2 factors, I'm determining whether it's value for money. So am I actually going to stay with the service or am I going to leave? So the key really here is against all your subscribers in that air gap, what you're really looking at is the different patterns around each of those different usages across those 6 metrics. And based upon those patterns, you can determine what you can do next. So I'll give you a really simple example of that. You may have 2 customers in a particular stage of the customer journey. They're exactly in the same place. We have 8 stages, but say they're in the consume stage, i.e. these customers are consuming. But they are not the same customer. It doesn't really matter about demographics in terms of, they may even be from the same demographic, but their pattern is completely different. So one customer may be very happy consuming content regularly and therefore is more than willing to pay every single month, because obviously in an OTT world, you're thinking about it on a monthly basis. The other customer, which on the surface appears the same, actually has a different pattern. They're not watching it as much. They've had some issues potentially. They're not as satisfied, and therefore they're more likely to consider the value for money exercise. So in both those situations, you would do 2 completely different things as actions in order to get that customer back on the same path. On that high value customer who seems to be engaging, you might want to use them to say, give us some feedback. You might do surveys. You might try and upgrade them to a different package. Whereas for the other customer, you think, actually, I can't upgrade them. They're not happy yet. So the first thing I've got to do is make them happy. So first thing I've got to do is got to get them engaging and using more content. Once I've done that, then maybe I can start suggesting upgrades from them. Whereas, the traditional thinking is they're in the same demographics, I'm going to treat them exactly the same way. That's not the way it should be done. The way you should be looking at it is the patterns of behavior across all of those signals on the supply demand. And that's what the scorecard's all about. That's what we're trying to bring to market.
And of course, it is tremendously difficult for operators to pull all of the information together that they need to be able to make those informed decisions. So I guess that's what Singular's targeted at doing for them.
Oh, no, absolutely. And I think, we take a very pragmatic approach towards data, Colin. I mean, we've been in lots of meetings where customers say, well, what data do you want? Because they've got the data. The data's everywhere. And there's a real, I guess they're scared or fed up of operators, of technology companies coming in and say, give me all your data. If you give me all your data, we're going to do something really fancy with it. And we're going to tell you some stuff you didn't know. Truth is, they know quite a lot of stuff already, right? the reality is what they're looking for is tell me what specifically is going to make an impact on my churn numbers or my growth numbers or whatever my KPIs at that point are. So we're going in telling you, well, we know exactly what you need. We know exactly what data we need to feed our decision moments journey in terms of where your subscribers are. We know what data we need in order to create the scorecard for your business. And of course, we know the actions that are in our action library that allow you to make those changes based upon your patterns. And so far, that's resonating. And that's, again, why we decided to become very laser focused on subscriber intelligence. And that's why we're so excited about Singular Decisions coming out to market.
Now, with the explosive growth of online viewing going on right now, I can bet that there is a lot of potential customers out there for the approach, Bhavesh. I think a lot of people are trying to figure out how to optimize new customers, old customers, and maybe win back some customers that have left them. So Singular sounds like it could be a very useful tool. Thank you for sharing your information on the air gap. It's a great concept. Thank you for speaking with us, Bhavesh.
Thank you, Colin. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
This has been Colin Dixon with nScreen Media.